We're going to take a look at some tactical pens. I'm not sure exactly what makes a pen tactical, but probably has something to do with its ability to be used as a defensive tool as well as a writing instrument. So we have quite a few of them here. By no means is this an all-inclusive sample, of course. There's lots of pens out there, and these are basically some new ones that we got from J.S. Burley's at EDC Forum, so we wanted to take a moment to mention that. We bought some of these new ones because we've been using the Surefire pens for a while now, and most people that are familiar with our videos and our reviews know that we're big fans of Surefire. However, we're not the biggest fans of their pens. They are pretty expensive, and while it is a very well built pen, it's by no means perfect. So we're going to use that as our baseline to compare against, and then on the opposite end of the extreme, I almost always have at least one Sharpie with me. I almost always have a black one, and then typically a silver one, or sometimes a colored one, depending on where I'm going, if I'm traveling or whatever. Again, I find that these are very effective as a defensive tool and very effective as a writing instrument, although not all-purpose one. But for the price, I think a good comparison between a very expensive pen and a very inexpensive pen. Now this will be my first impressions of all of these pens. They're all in the affordable, what I consider an affordable price range. We're also going to compare with this Rite In Rain all-weather pen, which is a Rite In Rain product, but the ink is made by Fisher Space Pens. So this one is much less expensive, more comparable with the rest of these, and we'll compare with that one as well. Now we own that one for a while, but we haven't given that one a heck of a lot of use, so it's actually going to get some of the same testing as the rest of these. All of these are in the similar price range, under $30 for sure. The Schrade Tactical Pen was $22. The UZI was $15. The Smith & Wesson came in at just under 23 bucks, and then the Tom Anderson one here was $13, so not very expensive at all. And then this PicoPen is more of an EDC type pen. There's the refill for it. More of an EDC pen, but because it could be carried by someone all the time, I figured we'd include it as well. Also have an Alpha Innovations Stylus, and I'm not sure if this is going to work with our smartphones, but this is definitely the same size and dimensions as a typical pen, and again I could see this being a pretty useful defensive tool. Very lightweight. So let's dig in. Went through the prices, now let's just take a look at the actual pens. We can start out with the Smith & Wesson. Comes just in a paper container with I guess there are a little bit of instructions. It says it's Taylor Brands from Tennessee. So that must be the people that are making the pen for them. We can see it says Smith & Wesson on it, on the clip there. It's the style where it needs to be unscrewed. You can fit that on the back there. We'll get into more in-depth uses of these pens. It screws on, and then you've got a fairly effective defensive tool here. Next up, we'll take a look at the Tom Anderson. Again, in a paper container. I don't think this one's got any paperwork. Nope, just a kind of a foam insert inside of a baggie. Alright, it's a little easier. Nope. Okay, this one comes first off with a little glob of like hot glue or whatever that is over the pen to stop it from leaking. I'm not sure that this one is designed to come apart, so we'll leave that little tab of glue on there until we're ready to write with it. Next up, let's look at this Schrade. And I should have looked at the boxes a little bit more. Normally I look at boxes, but let's take a quick look at the box from this Tom Anderson. Mainly because if you look at this end, it tells you that that little nib on the end there is glow in the dark, and I guess it comes in 3 different colors. So if we go underneath, you can see that they have a gray, black, and blue. I'm not sure if they carry all those at J.S. Burley's, but perhaps they'll, if you ask them, they might. And we'll take a quick look at that Smith & Wesson box. Tactical pen, manufactured by Taylor Brands, made in Taiwan. It's good to know. Smith & Wesson, it's black. I think that this one does come in a couple other colors, and they do have a couple other colors in stock over there last time I looked. So let's assume that since this one was only $12, that it might also be made somewhere else. Yep, made in China. So that's the Taylor, or that's the Tom Anderson. Might also, yep, made in China. Next up, we'll look at the box on this Schrade. Since 1904. Made in Taiwan. Also made by Taylor Brands. Schrade Tactical Pen II in black. So I guess they had a first version. This is their second version. Paper box. A little smaller at least. And we've got a very similar, if not exactly the same, handout as we did with the Smith & Wesson pen. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's exactly the same. So let's take a look at how this one works. Unscrews. This can screw back onto here. That's kind of nice. Interesting pen. Alright, next up, the UZI. So, kind of in a plastic sleeve here. UZI Tacpen. You can barely see made of aircraft aluminum, except standard Parker and Fisher Space Pen refills. 1-year warranty. That's good to know. Made by Campco. Made by Campco. So we'll pull that one out. No paperwork at all on this one. Little glob of snot or something on the end of this one too to keep it good. We've got sort of a rubber end cap and a fairly crenulated, aggressive end there. I'm guessing this is to keep your pocket from getting torn up. Pretty aggressive clip there. And although it does seem like it's Swiss, that's probably just to take it apart. Yeah, we got like grease and an O-ring. Alright, so we got a couple of different pens there. We'll just take a quick look at the Rite In Rain version. Comes in a paper blister pack. Rite In Rain, this is what they call number 97, black ink. It's the Fisher refill, so it's basically pressurized and everything from Fisher. It's specially modified according to Fisher to work with the Rite In Rain paper, but it'll also work with other papers as well. Should work in extreme cold. So while it's not actually a Fisher Space Pen that we're using to compare, it's pretty darn close. Alright, so let's bust into that one. And this one is a push button type. Hardly a tactical pen, but maybe an outdoors type pen. Pretty good selection there. And again, we'll take a quick look at the Surefire, of course made in the US. Aluminum push button. And then we'll take a look at this Pico. So made in China, darn it. Kind of assume that though. You know, it's sort of an Altoids tin. Open it up. We've got some instructions here on the lid. Inside you got a clip, sort of a key ring, a split ring, the pen itself. I'm assuming that's an insert there. And then if that's not an insert for this one, it's an insert for one of these others, and we'll just put it in this tin for now. Pretty impressive little tin though, nice and clean. And the pens are fairly small in, for keychain size. And it's sort of a magnet in here that when you put the pen in, it stays under quite a bit of force, actually, more than I would have thought. I'm seriously impressed with how well that stays in there. And that's your small writing pen. And then again, it can be kept on a key ring, so real efficient. Obviously not really designed as a defensive tool, but I can tell you what, this is actually a very solid unit right here. I'm pretty impressed. So we've got 2, 4, 6, 8, 9 of them. Kind of again, you know, you're counting the Sharpie in there, and this Stylus, which isn't really a pen, and you know, the Pico. But we're going to continue on with this small series here. We're going to weigh them, we're going to measure them, and compared to each other, we're going to write on a couple of different surfaces, and then eventually we're going to split these up with the different people on our crew, and everybody's going to use them for a bit, and then we'll all get together in the future and talk about how we liked the various pens, which one we liked best, and hopefully offer some information for people who might be making a decision on something like this. Thanks for watching.